happened, and we hope, that it all turns out the way it's supposed to.
They're always dressed to impress. MTV couldn't get enough of them. Remember TRL? Anywhere they went, paparazzi followed.
The FBI seized during a raid on Sean Diddy Combs' properties. Knight believes the FBI allegedly handed Ben Affleck tapes from the raid that implicate JLo in questionable activities.
Once upon a time, Jennifer Lopez and Sean Diddy Combs were the power couple everyone envied. Their chemistry was electric, and they had the world at their feet. But now, JLo has dropped Diddy faster than you can say breakup. And let me tell you, it's for a good reason. Word on the street is that JLo was a regular at those infamous FO parties, where she allegedly participated in some very unholy activities just to climb her way to the top. But here's the kicker. The feds just seized tapes from their raid. And if what we're hearing is true, JLo's golden crown might be on the verge of a serious topple. With the FBI hot on her heels, she might have no choice but to cooperate with the feds to save her skin. Didn't see that coming, did you? Jennifer Lopez, JLo. Her name has been popping up a lot since Sean Diddy Combs was arrested, and people are wondering, will Combs' ex-girlfriend have a role to play in this criminal case? When it comes to Diddy's federal racketeering and ST indictment, the spotlight has inevitably shifted towards the celebrities who were close to him. If these shocking allegations are true, it raises big questions. Who knew what? Who's being interviewed by the feds? And could any of these high-profile figures be facing criminal charges of their own? These are fair questions, especially since Combs is accused of running a criminal enterprise involved in the A of women, ST, forced labor, P, and distributing Ds. We're talking about an organization that allegedly committed crimes like kidnapping, A, bribery, and obstruction of justice, all to achieve their shady goals. So it's not a stretch to think there were others involved, people who were a part of this or witnessed it firsthand. In fact, the government has already said they've interviewed over 50 witnesses and victims. But of all the big names floating around, there's one that's really standing out right now: Jennifer Lopez.
All these stories are coming out, and all these celebrities are freaking out that suddenly their names are involved. But the biggest one that you and I have both heard is concerned is Jennifer Lopez.
Long before Diddy was slapped with criminal charges or hit with multiple lawsuits accusing him of SA, he was in a high-profile relationship with none other than Jennifer Lopez. The two dated from 1999 to 2001. And their romance was one for the pop culture history books. Their first public appearance as a couple was at the 1999 MTV Music Awards, and not long after, JLo had the world buzzing with that iconic green Versace dress at the Grammys. Everywhere they went, whether it was Diddy's legendary white parties or walking red carpets, they were the it couple of the early 2000s. There's even a famous photo of them lying in a giant white bed surrounded by pillows. And in another shot, they're joined by other party guests. But perhaps the most interesting bit of nostalgia that's resurfaced recently is a clip from MTV Diaries in 2000, where Diddy made his feelings clear about JLo performing a kiss scene in one of her movies. Lopez herself admitted that Diddy had issues with stuff like that. It was awkward, but no one thought much of it at the time. Fast forward to 2015, though, and something strange happened. JLo appeared on The Wendy Williams Show, where Wendy herself teased that she could always see JLo getting back with Puffy. As the crowd responded, the camera cut to JLo's mom, Guadalupe Rodriguez, who had a concerned look on her face and appeared to mouth the words, "It's done." Foreshadowing much? But let's not forget, one of the most notorious moments in their relationship, the infamous 1999 nightclub shooting. Yeah, the one where the shots were fired, and JLo reportedly threw the firearm out the car as they made their escape. At the time, people were anxious about what would happen to the couple, but JLo seemed cool as a cucumber, confident they'd walk away unscathed. And you know what? They did. With Diddy's influence and resources, it was pretty clear that JLo knew what was going on behind the scenes. And she played her part in the cover-up. Guess she was always one step ahead, even back then.
We know what happened, and we hope, that it all turns out the way it's supposed to.
Diddy's arrest may have come as a shock to many, but for some, it's been a long-awaited moment of justice. Among those feeling a sense of triumph is Natanya Rubin, a woman who claims the hip-hop mogul shot her in the face during the infamous nightclub shooting, a night that also involved Jennifer Lopez. Rubin told the Daily Beast that she first learned of Diddy's arrest from her daughter, Nirvana.
In short, it was extremely emotional because it was basically a mark 25 years, a quarter of a century since this occurred, and I've had to relive this over and over again.
This emotional reaction stems from the trauma Rubin endured over 2 decades ago. Back in 1999, she attended the same party as Diddy and JLo, a night that spiraled into chaos and shots after Diddy allegedly got into an argument with a substance dealer. Rubin claims she saw Diddy shoot her in the face. Despite her testimony in court, surgeons couldn't remove the bullet fragments from her face to provide the ballistics evidence needed, leading to Diddy's acquittal in the criminal trial. While Shine, Diddy's artist at the time, was sentenced to 10 years in jail, Rubin remained adamant that it was Diddy who pulled the trigger. Diddy eventually settled the civil lawsuit with Rubin for $1.8 million, but the emotional scars of that night never faded. Now with his arrest, Rubin feels a long overdue sense of justice, as if the universe is finally balancing the scales. And with the case against him growing by the day, it seems like Diddy's past may have finally caught up to him. Shine, who was once Diddy's protege, claims that the music mogul destroyed his life in the aftermath of the incident. While Diddy and Lopez walked away unscathed, Shine wasn't so lucky. He took the fall, while his former mentor went on to continue building his empire. Now with Diddy facing a storm of legal trouble, Shine's voice is one of many resurfacing as old wounds are reopened and the consequences of that fateful night come back to haunt the Bad Boy founder. In his Belize press conference, spurred by Combs' recent arrest on charges of ST and racketeering, Barrow said his former mentor turned around and called witnesses to testify against me. He pretty much sent me to prison. Almost every Hollywood star seemed to have some connection to Diddy back in the early 2000s, thanks to his glamorous and scandalous parties. Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr., a former producer for Diddy, even called him a gatekeeper in the music industry. When he broke his silence last month about his $30 million lawsuit against the now detained Revolt founder, Diddy's world has come crashing down amid the ongoing federal investigation. But things might even get messier, especially when it comes to his past with none other than Jennifer Lopez. As Diddy faces a whirlwind of legal troubles from his cell at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, it looks like JLo's reputation might be caught in the crossfire. Word on the street, according to Daily Mail sources, is that Lopez's team is on high alert as they brace for the possibility that the old Natanya Rubin shooting case might resurface. You see, JLo was there when that infamous nightclub shooting took place, and with more eyes revisiting Diddy's dark past, the spotlight may soon be back on her too. A source spilled. There were crisis talks this week to discuss how and if Jennifer should respond if the ongoing case triggers the past. Jennifer was present when the incident happened, and a lot of people in the industry are looking at her sideways. Jen has people looking into it all. She doesn't believe any negative impact will come from whatever happens to Diddy, but will do anything to avoid any future crisis. Infamous NYC shooting case would drag Lopez into the situation that she has tried for the past 25 years to forget. She has had the worst year of her life, and this entire thing with Diddy is just old wounds. Interestingly, Lopez has kept radio silence throughout Diddy's legal drama, not addressing the allegations that have been piling up against her ex. Her quiet stance seems to echo what many experts are saying. Most A-list celebrities are scared to death to speak out against Combs, likely because of their own past involvement or the alleged threats Diddy used to keep people quiet. But as more details emerge, the question remains, will JLo be able to distance herself from the fallout, or is her Hollywood crown at risk of toppling? Diddy's legal team is pulling out all the stops to get him out of jail, and their latest move is a fiery new court filing. His attorneys are demanding an investigation into what they claim are federal authorities leaking evidence to the media, including the now infamous surveillance video of Diddy allegedly A-ing his then-girlfriend Cassie back in 2016. In the filing, Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, didn't hold back. He slammed the government for what he described as a series of unlawful government leaks, designed to destroy Diddy's reputation before he even sets foot in court. Agnifilo singled out the Cassie video as the most damaging leak, but insisted it was just one part of a broader pattern of leaks aimed at poisoning the jury pool and denying Diddy his right to a fair trial.
They're asking the court to let's sit down and have a conversation about these unlawful leaks that are happening at the hands of Homeland Security.
He is also pushing for a gag order to stop any further leaks from tainting the case.
As you all know, I made a request today for what we were calling a gag order, and I'm not going to walk out of court and do anything other than live up to that.
Y'all, Diddy's legal team is working overtime to get Diddy out, since this isn't their first attempt. At a pretrial hearing last week, Combs' legal team made yet another desperate attempt to secure bail. This time it was their third shot. But what they didn't expect was the harsh reality that awaited them. You see, they argued that the denial of bail was all due to the sensationalism surrounding the case. They tried to paint the first judge as being swept up in the media frenzy, even throwing out a $50 million bond offer with strict home detention, hoping it would turn things around. But the jury, they weren't buying it. This time the argument fell flat. In fact, Judge Arun Subramanian wasted no time in reminding everyone that Diddy wasn't going anywhere. He made it crystal clear that Combs will remain detained at the MDC in Brooklyn, where he's been locked up since his arrest on September 16th. It seems like no amount of legal gymnastics is going to sway them, as the case only gets more heated. And now, with the trial date set for May 5th, it's starting to feel like Diddy's legal team is running out of plays.
The United States government, they start making this case as a takedown of a successful black man.
Word on the street is that Diddy might have spilled some crucial info that could come back to haunt him. It's just not his own neck that's on the line either, because let's face it, we all know he didn't operate alone. Now, with his volatile temper and a legal case that's blowing up, there are a whole lot of people out there shaking in their boots, including JLo.
Diddy didn't do it alone. Where are all the celebrities and friends that hung around Diddy? Did they really not know all of this information?
Another key aspect of that hearing was that Diddy's attorney tried to convince the judges to give Diddy a pretrial release to prepare for his case. Sean Combs requests that this court order his release on appropriate bail conditions and order his immediate release pending disposition of this appeal under Federal Rule of Appellate Procedure 9A3. Mr. Combs should be released because, regardless of the government's untested allegations, the proposed conditions will reasonably assure his appearance and the safety of the community. As you could already guess, Diddy did not get a pretrial release because it violated its obligations under the Bail Reform Act. Mr. Combs is presumed innocent. He traveled to New York voluntarily, fully aware that an indictment was coming, his legal team argued in their appeal. He took extraordinary measures to show his intention to face the charges head-on, not run away. The bail package he presented was designed to ensure that he posed no threat to anyone or had any opportunity to contact witnesses. According to the Bail Reform Act, liberty is the norm, and detention before or without a trial should be a carefully limited exception. Anyway, Hollywood's A-listers are sweating bullets as Diddy's legal storm shows no signs of slowing down. And let's just say a lot of people are scrambling to scrub their hands clean. Texas attorney Tony Busby isn't holding back. He's claiming Diddy SM'd 120 of his clients, including minors. And he's teasing that some very familiar names are about to drop. You can practically hear the panic in the entertainment industry. Ashton Kutcher and Kevin Hart are just the latest stars trying to distance themselves from the bad boy mogul. Kevin in particular might be sweating a little more than the rest. When the paparazzi cornered him outside West Hollywood's Lavo restaurant and asked if he'd seen the infamous baby oil Diddy's known for having at his parties, Kevin's response was classic deflection. "When I hosted for Diddy?" Hart asked, acting like he couldn't even remember. "You're asking the wrong person the wrong question, man. It's not a good question." Come on, Kev, you know exactly what they're asking. In fact, back in 2010, Kevin hosted one of Diddy's wild hotel parties, packed with bikini-clad women, drinks, and a who's who of Hollywood, including Usher, Fabulous, and Swiss Beats. And where was Kevin? Casually perched on the edge of a jacuzzi, surrounded by women in bikinis like it was just another Wednesday. Sure, he's dodging questions now, but it's looking like Kevin's got more than a few reasons to keep his lips sealed. Let's be real, that awkward deflection was all the proof we needed. He's running from Diddy's drama like it's catching up to him. Because if those names start to drop, Kevin might be closer to the action than he'd like us to believe. Then there's this clip.
We want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting the bag.
Listen, Busby made this claim in the press conference, and we know that it's not looking good for anybody right now. We will expose the enablers who enabled this conduct behind closed doors. We will pursue this matter no matter who the evidence implicates. The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. It's a long list already, but because of the nature of this case, we're going to make damn sure that we're right before we do that. He continued. The names will shock you. Suge Knight just dropped some serious tea, and honestly, what's he got to lose? From behind bars serving his 28-year sentence, he's airing it all out. Suge doesn't have any reason to hold back now that everything's on the line. During a phone interview with Chris Cuomo, Suge didn't mince words as he called out some of the biggest names in the game: Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross, and more, for staying silent while Diddy's mess unraveled. Suge straight up revealed that Snoop knew every intricate detail of what went down at those infamous parties, but still hadn't come forward. Now we're just waiting to see if they'll step up or stay silent. I look at it real plain and simple. I ain't no whistleblower. The facts are there. But right now, I don't care if it's T.I., I don't care if it's Rick Ross, I don't care if it's Jay-Z, I don't care if it's Snoop Dogg, I don't care if it's The Game, I don't care if it's Drake. Nobody is stepping up. He didn't even flinch when he talked about shared history between Snoop and Diddy. I remember when they was giving Puffy an award at the ASCAP Awards. Andre went up there and got him an expensive watch and gave it to him in front of everybody. He basically confessed his love to this man. Then Puffy and Snoop became besties. Every time you see one, you see the other. Next thing you know, they start painting their fingernails. Didn't make sense. The Game bought Puffy a Lamborghini when Puffy got more money than Game. Why you buying this man a Lamborghini? You know your homies don't even got a Lamborghini. But once again, it's that secret society. For this thing to work and fix it, they gotta start all the way over in these major record labels and these big buildings. They need to get rid of all the guys who was connected to the poison and the snake. While he's got no love for Diddy, he makes it clear that he doesn't celebrate any black man or anyone really being thrown behind bars. Me personally, I don't jump and cheer for no black man or any other human being going to prison. But Suge's thinking about the ripple effect too, adding that Diddy's situation doesn't just affect him, but his kids as well. Suge didn't stop there. He acknowledged the pain of the alleged victims and their families, but dropped a major hint that Diddy might not be the only one responsible. According to Suge, Diddy's just the fall guy in a much bigger picture.
There are a whole lot of celebrities that have been on this particular list. And off the rip, I'm not saying that all of these people are involved in whatever the hell was going on in his mansions and at his little freak-offs, but I do truly believe that every single one of them should be questioned.
Sooner or later, JLo would have to speak up, and from the looks of it, no one's gonna believe her then. That's all for today. We hope you liked that video, and if you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos like this.